I was starving in London, skipping meals so my family in Nigeria could eat, until one phone call shattered everything.
We've been hungry for months. You stopped sending money.
But Amara had sent money every single month. So if my family never got it, who had been taking it?
This is my story, a story of sacrifice, betrayal, and the kind of family secret that destroys trust forever. If you love emotional stories with shocking twists, subscribe now. Because this one will make you furious. The bank transfer confirmation glowed on my phone screen, £400. I stared at it in the darkness of my cramped London bedroom, the same way I did every month on the 28th, like it was proof I was still a good daughter. Like it was a receipt for love. Like if I kept sending, kept giving, kept bleeding myself dry, the universe would remember my name when it was handing out blessings. My mother's voice echoed in my memory from our last call, "We are managing, Ada. God will provide." I knew what managing meant. I'd grown up inside that word. Managing meant Mama stretching a pot of soup across 3 days. It meant her blood pressure medication being rationed, half a tablet today, the other half tomorrow, because the full dose was a luxury. It meant my younger sister Nkem might have to sit at home while her classmates walked into exam halls without her. That's why I worked 18-hour days. That's why I lived in a room so small I could stretch out my arms and touch both walls at the same time. That's why I hadn't bought new shoes in 3 years. The alarm buzzed at 5:15 a.m., but I was already awake. I'd been awake for an hour, doing what I always did in the dark, calculating. If I picked up an extra overnight shift this week, I could send an additional £50 next month. Nkem's exam fees were coming up. She needed textbooks. She needed to eat properly so her brain could function. She was going to be a doctor. My sister was going to change our family story, and I was going to make sure of it, even if it killed me. "Your transfer has been received," my brother Chidi had texted the night before. He handled the money distribution back home. He was the one on the ground, the one who could walk to the pharmacy, pay the school, put food on Mama's table. He was educated. Responsible. The one our late father trusted with everything before cancer stole him from us. We'll sort out Mama's medication and Kem's school tomorrow. I pulled on my care worker uniform, the fabric worn soft from too many washes, the seams threatening to surrender. In the shared bathroom down the hall, someone was playing loud Afrobeat music. I knocked gently. "Sorry, I need to get ready for work." The music got louder. I waited. I always waited. In this house, in this country, in this life, I waited. At Rosewood Care Home, my first patient was Mrs. Chan. She had dementia. On most days she mistook me for her daughter, Lily, who lived in Manchester and visited once every few months. "You came to see me," Mrs. Chan said when I walked in, gripping my cracked hands with both of hers. "Yes, Mrs. Chan. I'm here. Good daughters always come. Good daughters never forget." Something about the way she said it made my throat tight. I swallowed it down. I always swallowed it down. I helped her to the bathroom. Changed her into fresh clothes. Fed her breakfast, scrambled eggs and toast, which she ate with the slow, grateful attention of someone who still remembered what hunger felt like. My back ached from lifting her, but I smiled. Always smiled. The residents needed to see warmth, even when I felt hollow inside. Even when the person feeding them hadn't eaten breakfast herself. During my break, my colleague Ton found me in the break room eating rice from the same plastic container I'd been using all week. Monday's rice reheated on Wednesday. Wednesday's rice reheated on Friday. The math of survival. "There's cake in the staff room," he said. "Sarah's birthday. I'm fine with this." He sat down across from me, uninvited. "Ada, When was the last time you did something just for yourself? I pulled out my phone and showed him a photo. Nkem in her school uniform, grinning so wide it looked like her face might crack open with joy. My sister, I said. She's going to be a doctor. She's brilliant. Top of her class. That's not what I asked. She asks for myself. Her success will be my success. When she walks across the stage to collect her degree, every meal I skipped, every shift I walked, every night I spent alone in that tiny room, it will all mean something. Ton looked at me the way people look at someone who's drowning but smiling. He was British-born Nigerian. His parents owned their house in Tottenham. They went to Nando's on weekends. They bought things without mentally converting the price to naira, without calculating how many days of food for a family in Lagos that restaurant bill could cover. He meant well. But he didn't understand. And I didn't have the energy to teach him. My phone buzzed. A WhatsApp message from Mama. My heart jumped and then squeezed. Mama rarely texted. She always said it was too expensive, that airtime was for emergencies. 2 words on my screen, call me. 2 words that made my stomach clench like a fist closing around something fragile. I tried calling back immediately. No answer. I texted Chidi, is everything okay? Mama asked me to call. No response. I watched my screen. The 3 dots appeared, he was typing. Then they disappeared. Then appeared again. Then disappeared. My chest tightened. Something was wrong. I could feel it the way you feel a storm before the sky changes, a pressure in the air, a heaviness that has no name yet. My second job was at Mr. Douglas's house, a wealthy widower in Dulwich who needed evening care. I arrived 3 minutes late, still rattled from Mama's text. I don't pay for tardiness, he said from his armchair, not looking up from his newspaper. I'm sorry, Mr. Douglas. The boss. Excuses bore me. I prepared his dinner in silence. Lamb chops. Roasted vegetables. A meal that cost more than I spent on my own food in a week. My phone vibrated insistently in my pocket. Mama calling. I couldn't answer. Not with Mr. Douglas watching, timing me, cataloging my every pause. The phone stopped. Started again. Stopped. Started. Oh, for heaven's sake, Mr. Douglas snapped. Answer the blasted thing. I stepped into the hallway, my hands trembling as I pressed the green button. Mama. Ada. Her voice was different. Not tired, I was used to tired. This was something else. Broken. Like a bone that had been bearing weight for too long and had finally snapped. Nkem cannot write her exams. What? Why? What happened? The school says we owe 3 terms of fees. 3 terms, Ada. They will not let her sit the exams. The hallway tilted. I gripped the wall, pressed my palm flat against the cold plaster like it could hold me up. Mama, that's impossible. I send money every month. 400 pounds. Chidi confirmed he received it just yesterday. Silence. Long, terrible silence. The kind that has teeth. Ada. My mother's voice dropped to almost a whisper. Chidi told me you stopped sending money. Many months ago. He said you told him you have your own problems now. That London changed you. The phone slipped from my hand. I heard it hit the hardwood floor, heard my mother's voice calling my name from far away, Ada. Ada, but I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. My lungs forgot how to walk. My brain forgot how to think. 14 months. I had sent 400 pounds every single month for 14 months. I had bled for that money. Every pound was a piece of me, my sleep, my health, my youth, my life. And none of it had reached them. I picked up the phone with fingers that felt like they belonged to someone else. Mama, I have never stopped sending. Never. I send it on the 28th of every month. £400. I have the receipts. I have every single confirmation. He said. Mama's voice cracked. He said London changed you. That you forgot us. Mama, I work 2 jobs. I haven't bought new clothes in years. I eat the same food every day, rice and stew, rice and stew, rice and stew. I live in a room the size of a closet. Everything I have goes home. Everything. She was crying now. Not the gentle crying of sadness, this was the ugly, heaving crying of a woman who had been carrying a mountain of shame on her back for over a year, and that mountain had just been revealed to be built on a lie. We have been suffering, Ada. Some days we don't eat. I've been too ashamed to tell anyone that my daughter abroad doesn't send money. The neighbors talk. They whisper behind my back. Your Ada is in London, and you're here suffering like a beggar. What kind of daughter? I couldn't look them in the eye. My mother. My strong, proud, dignified mother. Enduring whispers. Going hungry. Believing her firstborn had abandoned her. Because her son told her so. I'm sending you proof, Mama. Right now. Check your WhatsApp. I opened my banking app with shaking fingers and started screenshotting. I continued to take screenshots, one after the other. January. February. March. April. May. June. Each month a transfer of £400, each one confirmed received, each one a month of my life distilled into a number on a screen. 17 screenshots in total. 17 months of double shifts. 17 months of saying no to everything, no to dinners with colleagues, no to birthday outings, no to warm coats in winter, no to the dentist when my tooth ached for 3 weeks, no to life itself. I sent them all. Through the phone, I heard my mother gasp. It sounded like air being punched out of a body. All this money. She whispered. Ada, all this money, where did it go? I already knew. The knowing sat in my chest like swallowed glass, sharp, lodged deep, impossible to cough up without bleeding. I'm calling Chidi now, I said. Ada. I'll call you back, Mama. I dialed Chidi. It rang once and went to voicemail. I called again. Same thing. Again. Same. He was declining my calls. My own brother, the one I trusted with everything, couldn't even face the sound of my voice. I texted him. I know what you did. Call me now. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. I stood there in Mr. Douglas's hallway, staring at those 3 dots like they were a jury deliberating my family's future. Finally, his reply came. There's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. 14 months of stolen money and a family torn apart, and he called it a misunderstanding. I called him again. This time, he answered. His voice was careful, rehearsed. He'd been preparing for this moment, maybe not today, but someday. He knew it would come eventually. Thieves always know. Sister, let me explain. Where is the money, Chidi? You don't understand the pressure I'm under here. The economy is bad. You know how things are. My business. Where is the money? I had debts, Ada. People were threatening me. Dangerous people. I was going to pay it back. 14 months, Chidi. 14 months. £5,600. You're there earning pounds. You live in the UK. You don't know what it's like here. Mama has been starving. Our mother has been going to bed hungry. She's been eating gari and groundnut for dinner. Nothing else. While you, what? What did you spend it on? What was worth more than our mother's life? Don't be dramatic. No one is starving. Don't you dare. My voice was shaking so badly I could barely get the words out. Don't you dare minimize what you've done. I spoke to Mama. I heard her voice. I heard the shame in it, shame you put there. I helped when I could. With MY money. You helped them with MY money. And they are supposed to be grateful to you while they think I abandoned them. It's family money, Ada. We are all family. You told Mama I abandoned them. You told Nkem I didn't care about her education. You destroyed my name, my reputation with my own family, to cover your theft. I protected you. If they knew you were sending money, they would have asked for more. That wasn't your choice to make. You left, Ada. His voice was loud now, defensive, ugly. You've been gone 5 years. You sit in London and send money and think that makes you Mother of the Year. You don't get to judge me from your comfortable life. Comfortable. My voice broke. Not from sadness, from rage so pure it burned my throat. You want to know about my comfortable life? I sleep on a mattress on the floor because a bed frame costs money I don't have. I haven't been to a restaurant in 3 years. I wear shoes held together with superglue. I skip meals so there's more to send. I shower in cold water because the hot water costs extra. Look at my life, Chidi. Look at what you stole from. I tried to video call him. I wanted him to see my face. I wanted him to see the dark circles under my eyes, the uniform held together by prayers, the cracked hands of a woman who cleaned and lifted and served for 18 hours a day so her family could survive. He declined the video call. Of course he did. A thief can't look at the person he's robbed. Not really. Not without seeing himself for what he is. Face me, I said. If you have any shame left in your body, face me. No one asked you to sacrifice so much. Mama asked. When Papa died, she asked. She said the family needs us to survive. You were supposed to handle things on the ground. I was supposed to provide from here. That was the agreement. That was the promise. Agreements change. You allowed our mother to believe that her daughter had abandoned her. You let our sister think I didn't care whether she had a future. You destroyed everything, every relationship, every bond, to hide what you did. And you sit there telling me agreements change. Silence. Then Chidi's voice, smaller now, stripped of its defiance, I'll pay it back. With what? The business that failed. The job you don't have. Bim doesn't know. Please, Ada. If she finds out. Your girlfriend. You're worried about your girlfriend finding out, while our mother has been starving. He said nothing. I'm done, Chidi. Ada, please. I hung up. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely hold the phone. I stood in Mr. Douglas's hallway, and the ward looked different, like someone had shifted all the furniture 2 inches to the left. Everything was familiar, but nothing was where it should be. Mr. Douglas appeared in the doorway. His face, usually tight with impatience, had softened into something I didn't recognize. Concern, maybe. Or pity. Is everything all right? He asked. I need a moment. Take all the time you need. He paused, then added quietly, there's tea in the kitchen. Help yourself. I made the tea without tasting it. Then I called Mama back. He admitted it, I said. He took everything. My mother's silence was worse than her crying. Crying, at least, is a sound. This was an absence, a void where words should be but couldn't survive. How do you respond when you learn that one of your children has been feeding off the other like a parasite? How do you choose between your son's shame and your daughter's pain when both live inside your body? Mama, I'm setting up a new way to send money. Direct to your phone. Mobile money. It'll go straight to you. No middleman. No one else will touch it. My daughter. I'll send something tonight. Phone comes fees. Ada, I'm sorry. Her voice splintered. I should have known. A mother should know her child wouldn't abandon her. You've never been that kind of person. Even as a small girl, you gave away your food to other children. I should have seen through his lies. It's not your fault, Mama. I said terrible things about you to people. When the neighbors asked, I said. I told them my daughter in London had forgotten where she came from. I let them pity me. I let them curse your name. The room blurred. I blinked and tears fell on Mr. Douglas's granite countertop. He's your son, I said. You trusted him. So did I. After the call, I sat on Mr. Douglas's back step. The October air bit into my skin through my thin jacket, a jacket I'd bought at a charity shop 2 years ago for £3. I sat there and I calculated because that's what I do. That's all I know how to do. £400 times 14 months. £5,600. £5,600. That number sat in my mind like a headstone. Beneath it lay buried every meal I'd skipped, every ache I'd ignored, every moment of joy I'd sacrificed. £5,600 worth of my life, swallowed by my own brother. I opened my banking app. Current balance, £247. That was everything. My entire existence is reduced to 3 digits. I transferred £200 to Mama's mobile money account. It left me with £47 to survive until payday, 5 days away. £47 for 5 days in London. It was tight, but I'd done worse. I'd survived on less. The confirmation came through immediately. I called Mama. Did you receive it? Yes. The relief in her voice hit me so hard I had to sit down again. Oh, Ada, yes. I have it. It's here. On my phone. I can see it. Immediate access. No waiting for Chidi to sort things out. No wondering if the money would actually reach her. No trusting someone who'd proven himself unworthy of trust. I'll send what I can every month, I said. But Mama, it will be less. Maybe 200. I need to survive too. The words felt foreign in my mouth. I need to survive too. Had I ever said that before? Had I ever even thought it? My daughter, even if you send nothing, knowing you didn't abandon us is enough. Knowing you've been fighting for us all this time, suffering alone in that cold country for our sake, that is enough. But I knew better. Love didn't pay school fees. Care didn't buy medication. Knowing I hadn't abandoned them wouldn't fill their stomachs tomorrow. I worked the rest of my shift in a haze. Mr. Douglas, usually demanding and precise about every minute, said nothing when I moved slower than usual. At one point, he put a biscuit on the counter near me. Didn't say a word, just placed it there and walked away. I ate it. It was the kindest thing anyone had done for me in months. At 11 p.m., I caught the last bus home. The bus was nearly empty, just me and a woman with a sleeping child on her lap. I watched them. The child's face was peaceful, trusting, and completely surrendered to the safety of her mother's arms. I wondered when I'd last felt that kind of trust. That certainty that someone was holding me, that I wouldn't fall. My phone rang. Chidi. I declined. He called again. I blocked his number. Then I stared out the bus window at London sliding past, all lights and glass and indifference. This city that was supposed to be my salvation. This city where I'd poured 5 years of my life into a funnel that led to nothing. I'd come here with a suitcase and a plan, work hard, send money home, build something for my family. And I had. I'd kept my end of the deal. I'd bled for it. I'd starved for it. I'd given up every comfort, every pleasure, every small human joy. And the person I trusted to turn that sacrifice into something real, food on the table, books in my sister's hands, medicine in my mother's body, had taken it all and given my family nothing but lies. I got off the bus and walked to my building. Up 3 flights of narrow stairs. Into my room, my little box with its mattress on the floor and its one window that looked out onto a brick wall. I sat on the mattress, still wearing my coat, still holding my phone. £47 in my account. 5 days until payday. A family across the ocean had just learned that their daughter, whom they had been mourning as lost, had been there all along, sending, sacrificing, and disappearing piece by piece so they could survive. I didn't cry. I was too exhausted to cry. Crying takes energy, and I had given all of mine away. The next morning, Tom found me in the break room of the care home, staring at the wall like it owed me answers. Ada. You okay? I looked up at him. His face was open, worried, the kind of face that belongs to someone who's never had to question whether the people who love him are actually robbing him. My brother stole 14 months of money I sent home, I said. My voice sounded flat, factual, like I was reading a news headline about someone else's life. He told my family I abandoned them. Tom sat down hard. What? I showed him the bank statements. The transfers. All those £400 payments, one after another, a river of money flowing out of my life and into a void. That's evil, Ada. He's not evil. He's weak. I put my phone away. Sometimes that's worse. What are you going to do? What can I do? The money is gone. You could report him. The police, or to who? He's in Nigeria. The money landed in his account. He received it willingly. Legally, he did nothing wrong. It was a family arrangement. No contract. No paper trail. Just trust. I almost laughed at that word. Trust, and now the money is gone. My mother's health is damaged. My sister still might not graduate. And I have £47 in my account. Tom opened his mouth to say something else, but Mrs. Chon was calling for me. I stood up, straightened my uniform, and went back to work. Because that's what I do. I work. That evening, I video called Nkem. I was nervous, more nervous than I'd been for any job interview, any exam, any moment in my life. This was my baby sister, the person I'd built my entire existence around saving, and she thought I had thrown her away. Her face appeared on screen. Cold. Suspicious. Eyes narrowed like she was looking at a stranger. So now you remember us, she said. Nkem, I never forgot you. I never stopped sending. That's what Chidi said you'd say. He said if you ever called, you'd make excuses. Try to play the victim. Of course he did. He'd been building this narrative for 14 months. Laying bricks of lies, one on top of another, until the wall between me and my family was too high to see over. I have proof, I said. Bank statements. Every transfer, every month. Anyone can forge bank statements. The accusation hit me like a slap across the ocean. My sister. The girl I had wrapped my entire life around. You think I would lie about this? My voice cracked. You think I would invent 14 months of fake bank transfers? I think you've been in London living your life while I wore broken shoes to school. While Mama pretended she wasn't hungry, I was able to eat her portion. While our neighbors looked at us with pity. So yes, Ada, I don't know what to believe anymore. I've been working myself to death for you, Nkem. 2 jobs. 18-hour days. I haven't bought myself anything in years. Everything went home. Then where was the money? Ask your brother. I did. He said you're trying to make him look bad because you feel guilty for neglecting us. I wanted to scream. I wanted to reach through the screen and shake her, make her see, make her understand. But how do you convince someone who's been marinating in lies for over a year? How do you undo 14 months of poison dripped into someone's ear by the person they share a roof with? Nkem, I love you. Everything I do is for you to have a better life. I swear on Papa's grave. If you loved me, you would have come home. Even once. 5 years, Ada. 5 years, and you never came. She ended the call. I sat in my tiny room, phone still in my hand, screen gone dark. She was right about one thing, I hadn't gone home. Not once. Because every time I thought about buying a plane ticket, I calculated that's 3 months of Nkem's school fees. That's 6 months of Mama's medication. That's food for the whole family for half a year. How could I spend money on a visit when they needed it to survive? But they didn't know that. They only knew I wasn't there. I looked around my room at the evidence of my sacrifice laid out like exhibits in a courtroom. The single pair of work shoes, soles worn smooth. The 3 shirts on rotation, washed so many times the collars had surrendered. The thin mattress on the floor. The small bag of rice in the corner that was my pantry. No pictures on the walls. No flowers. No decorations. Nothing that said a human being lived here. Just a machine that converted hours into pounds and pounds into transfers. My phone buzzed. Amora, my friend from back home who also lived in London. I heard about Chidi, she said when I answered. My mother told me. The whole village is talking. What are they saying? She hesitated. Some people say there must be more to the story. That maybe you and Chidi had some kind of arrangement. An arrangement to let my mother starve. I'm just telling you what people are saying, Ada. You know how they are. They love a story. They love scandal. This isn't scandal. This is my life. Come out with us this weekend. You need to get out of your head. I'll pay for everything. I can't. Let someone do something for you for once. Please. I agreed, knowing I wouldn't go. I couldn't sit in a restaurant watching money leave my hands on food when Mama needed medication. I couldn't laugh and drink and pretend my world hadn't just caved in. That week, I picked up 3 extra shifts. My body screamed, my back, my feet, my cracked and bleeding hands. I worked through it all. Pain was just another currency, and I'd been spending it for years. On Saturday, my phone rang. A Nigerian number I didn't recognize. Hello. Is this Ada? Chidi's sister. Who is this? My name is Bimp. I was Chidi's girlfriend. Was. He told me everything last night. While he was drunk. About the money. About what he did to your family. I left him this morning. I said nothing. I wanted you to know that I'm sorry. I benefited from that money without knowing. The dinners he took me to, the gifts he bought me, the new phone. Her voice wavered. I'm so sorry, Ada. It's not your fault. He's not a bad person, you know. He's just lost. I finished for her. That's what people say about someone when they don't want to call them what they really are. He talked about you all the time. How proud he was of you. How hard you work. Proud of me while spending my money. Praising me while telling my mother I abandoned her. That's not pride, Bimp. That's performance. She was quiet for a moment. He mentioned something else last night. About gambling. My blood went cold. Gambling. He said he thought he could double the money. Triple it. He said it started small, a few bets here and there, and then it spiraled. I hung up. Not because I was angry at Bimp, but because my body couldn't hold anymore. Gambling. Not business debts. Not survival. Not even greed in the traditional sense. My brother had fed our mother's food money, our sister's school fees, and my life into betting shops and online casinos, chasing the fantasy of a jackpot while real people starved. My phone rang again, Chidi, from yet another new number. I turned the phone off entirely. The next week, something shifted inside me. I can't explain it exactly, it was like a bone resetting after being broken for years. Painful, but necessary. A realignment. I made a decision. I would go shopping. Not for groceries. Not for necessities. For something I wanted. Something just for me. I stood outside a shop on Oxford Street for 20 minutes, watching people flow in and out with bags, carefree and light. My phone showed £347, I'd just been paid, and the transfer to Nigeria was set for tomorrow. £200 this time. Not £400. I walked in. The coat was burgundy wool, lined with soft fabric that felt like an embrace. I slipped it on, and for a moment, the whole world went quiet. It fit perfectly, like it had been waiting for me. The price tag read £89. £89. That was medication for Mama. School supplies from Kem. Weeks of food. I took it off. Put it back. Started to walk away. It looked lovely on you, the shop assistant said. It's not practical, I mumbled. Sometimes practical isn't the point. I thought about my practical life. My practical shoes held together with glue. My practical meals of recycled rice. My practical choice to give away everything and keep nothing. I bought the coat. Walking out of the shop, I braced myself for the guilt. I waited for it to slam into me the way it always did whenever I spent anything on myself, that familiar voice whispering, your mother is suffering, and you're buying coats. It didn't come. Instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, warm. That evening, I video called Mama, wearing the coat like a confession. I bought a coat, I said, as if admitting to a crime. Good. London is cold. It was expensive, Mama. You deserve to be warm, Ada. But. No but. You've been sending money for 5 years. You've kept this family alive. You deserve one coat. You deserve 100 coats. I feel guilty. That's how the world trains us. Women especially. To feel guilty for having anything while others have less. But you cannot pour from an empty cup forever, my daughter. Eventually, the cup cracks. Then she paused. Nkem wants to talk to you. My heart ceased. But before I could brace myself, my sister's face appeared on screen. Her eyes were red. Mama showed me the bank statements, she said. All of them. Every single one. I held my breath. I'm sorry, Ada. I'm so sorry. I believed him. He's our brother. He was right there, and you were far away, and it was easier to believe the person I could see. I believed him too, Nkem. I told my friends my sister in London didn't care about us. I said terrible things about you. I know. I wore broken shoes for a year. I know. Mama didn't eat proper meals. I know. We sat in silence across thousands of miles, two sisters separated by distance and lies, slowly finding their way back to each other through the wreckage. I still want to be a doctor, Nkem said finally. You will be. I'll make sure of it. But Ada, don't destroy yourself for us. Please. I'd rather take longer to become a doctor than watch my sister disappear. After we hung up, I did something I hadn't done in years. I went for a walk. Not rushing to work. Not racing to the bus. Just walking. In my warm coat. Through London's cold streets. I passed restaurants full of people my age laughing over dinner. I passed couples holding hands. I passed a whole life I'd never let myself want. My phone buzzed. Turned, drinks tomorrow. My treat. I started typing my usual excuse, I can't, I have to. I deleted it. Yes, I wrote. 1 word. 3 letters. A quiet revolution. I thought about Chidi, probably alone in Lagos now, trying to explain to people why Bimp left, why his family wouldn't speak to him. I felt no satisfaction in his downfall. Just an emptiness where trust used to live. But I also felt something else, free. Free from the weight of being everyone's salvation. Free, I am free from the lie that my suffering was noble. I am free from the story that I had to choose between caring for others and existing myself. That night, I set up 2 transfers. £200 to Mama, scheduled for tomorrow. And £50 into a new savings account I just created. I named it For Me. Both accounts existed now. Both were real. Both were necessary. I walked home through the cold London night, warm for the first time in 5 years. Not just from the coat, though the coat helped. Warm from the slow, terrifying realization that I was allowed to live. Not just survive. Not just endure. But live. The truth was, I'd been sending money home for so long, I'd forgotten I deserved to receive something too. Not just money. But life. Warmth. Rest. Joy. The permission to exist beyond sacrifice. Chidi stole my money. But he also, without meaning to, cracked open the cage I built around myself. I would never thank him for it. But I would use it. Tomorrow, I'd wear my warm coat to work. Maybe someone would compliment it. Maybe I'd smile and say thank you instead of explaining why I shouldn't have bought it. Maybe that would be enough. Maybe enough was finally enough. If this story resonated with you. If you've ever sent money home, if you've ever sacrificed for family, if you've ever discovered betrayal where you expected love, leave a comment below. Share your story. You're not alone in this journey. And if you found value in my story, consider subscribing for more narratives that explore the complex realities of family, sacrifice, and survival. Thank you for listening until the end. Thank you for witnessing my story. Ada.